Rory, thank you for coming in today. We like to think that last year this was kind of a launch for you for the fantastic year you had. Have you got great memories of coming back, of being in Australia last year and then back here again?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this tournament gave me a lot last year. It gave me a lot of confidence going into the 2014 season. I hadn't played in Australia. I think it was for 6 or 7 years. So I was really excited to come back down, and I'd played Royal Sydney in the Australian Open in '06. So I was excited to play the golf course again, and I had a great week. I really did. Sydney's one of my favorite cities in the world, and we had a great time, and obviously, I played really well and was able to get the win, which was, my only win of last year, but it was a very important one to me, especially in the fashion that I did it. I think I annoyed quite a few Australians with, preventing Adam from doing the triple. But great memories of coming back down here, and I was excited to come back and defend the title. I played the front nine yesterday, and then today was my first 18.
And what's your thoughts about the golf course? Is it just open for you to see anything, any sort of hidden agendas there?
Not really. I think it's pretty much right in front of you. It's a little more generous off the tee than Royal Sydney was last year, but it's very tricky around the greens. There's a lot of runoffs. It's typical Jack Nicklaus design with a lot of sort of humps and bumps in the greens. But it's going to be a good test, depending on how the wind is, and if it gets up during the week, it's going to be quite tricky out there. The greens are pretty firm, so it should be a good test, and looking forward to it.
Great. Questions to the floor. Please make sure you're holding a microphone when you ask the questions. Away we go.
Gonna be easy.
Rory, you played some practice holes yesterday, I think, with Ryan Ruffles and Todd Sinnott. You played with Ryan last year. Just your thoughts on how he's advanced over 12 months. And then on Todd Sinnott, did he out-hit you?
I think Ryan's grown definitely a couple inches since last year. He's sprouted up a little bit. But yeah, he's a very good player. He, for how young he is, he's got a very solid game. And I did a sort of cocktail function thing with Adam last night, and he described it pretty well. He's sort of like a mini touring pro already. So he's got a great future ahead of him. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and I think he can go quite far in the game. And Todd, he might have hit me a couple of times. He can hit it long when he wants to. So he was definitely hitting. Because I was surprised. I was hitting a 6-iron into the second. Ryan was hitting a 5, and then Todd pulled out 7, hit it pin high. So I was like, he's got a bit of power in there. But he's a big lad, so he should be hitting it far.
Rory, Nicole Jeffrey from the Australian. How much did the win here last year set you up for the year you've had this year?
It set me up a lot. It really did. As I said, I took a lot of confidence from it, especially. I think I was 4 shots behind Adam going into the weekend, and he was the #1 player in the world. He just come off the back of 2 wins. He was the Masters champion. And to battle him, for 36 holes and be able to come out on top, albeit he had a few chances to put me away on Sunday, but I just kept hanging around and. Made a great birdie on 18, which thankfully won it for me. But I did take a lot from that victory. It was my one and only victory of 2013. But it ended the year for me on a high, which it hadn't been a great season for me. I'd had my struggles, but to win to win one of my last events of the year was great, and as I said, it gave me momentum going into 2014.
Rory, Erin Molan from Channel 9. Most of the punters seem to think it's a battle between you and Adam Scott, what it came down to last year, but who else do you see as a real threat in this one?
There's a lot of good players. I mean, a lot of good Australians are playing. Jordan Spieth's obviously here. You know, I'm playing with Matt Jones tomorrow, and this is his, basically his home golf course. So, he's going to have a good shot at it. But it's a strong field. It's definitely not a 2-horse race. There's, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Adam and I are coming off the back of a couple of good finishes last week, but at the same time, there's another, 120 or 30 or 40 players in the field, and they'll all feel like they have a good chance to do well this week. So I don't think I can, concentrate on anyone else but myself, and just focus on what I can do, and try and play well and shoot good scores, and hopefully that'll give me a chance to win again.
Justin? Oh, sorry, Justin?
Rory, the last 12 months, pretty big changes, as you mentioned. This time last year, you were struggling. This season's been amazing. How have you sort of processed that? What are you making?
Yeah, I mean, obviously in a completely different place 12 months on than I was last year. And I guess it just shows, if you put your mind to it, and you work hard and practice and really dedicate yourself, this is what's capable. But yeah, I felt, even sort of October time last year, my game was starting to sort of turn a quarter, and it all came together for me here. And then all of 2014 was solid. Even the start of 2014 was solid. I had a few chances to win golf tournaments. I just didn't quite step up and take them. But that period through the summer, I made up for that then, and knocked off a couple of big ones. So it's been a great season, and hopefully this is just the start of seasons like this, and I can start to replicate them going forward. And I'm 25 now. I've probably got another 10 or 15 year window of trying to play great golf and winning big tournaments, and I'm going to do everything that I can to be as successful as I can.
Rory,
Just one, sorry. Just one in front. Thank you.
Hi, Rory, playing against Adam Scott, how would you describe the rivalry, and does that bring out the best in you when you play against him?
I'm not sure there's any sort of, it's hard to have a rivalry with someone like Scotty. He's such a nice guy. Look, we have had a couple of battles down the stretch at golf tournaments before, and I'm going to get the better of him sometimes. He's going to get the better of me. But it doesn't. I think that one of the things about golf, it's hard. Unlike some other sports where you have guys that sort of meet each other all the time. Adam could get into contention, and I mightn't be there, and it'll be someone else, or I'm in there, and it's hard for from a 156-man field to have it two guys competing against each other week in, week out. It's hard to sort of do. So, but I think he does. I mean, he really, if you're playing with Adam, he does make you play your best golf, because he's such a great player as well. He rarely misses a shot. He's so solid, and the only way that you can really live with that is just by doing the same thing, by hitting great drives, by hitting good iron shots, and giving yourself loads of birdie opportunities like he does.
Rory, you mentioned the year you've had before. You've obviously, a lot of demands on your time after winning the two majors. How do you separate that from your golf? How do you separate the obligation that you have to the media, to whoever else, and how do you separate from that from thinking about golf?
Yeah, it's something that I've had to get used to over the last couple of years, because as you become more successful, as you said, the demands on your time become more and more, and you just have to manage it as best you can. I mean, I have basically a schedule on my phone for every day that that I'm either at a golf tournament or I'm not, or I can tell you what I'm probably going to do 4 months time from now on, I don't know, March the whatever. That's the way my life has gone. It's very structured and very scheduled, and I just got to make sure that I put the adequate time in to focus on my golf, and make sure that, because that ultimately that's what's got me in this position, is putting the time in in practice and in preparation, and that's what I have to focus on. So there's, 95% of the things that come into us I say no to just because there's not enough time, and the stuff that I feel I need to do or I feel would be helpful to me, I do, and I don't let anything take time away from practice or preparation or trying to make myself a better player.
And just on a similar note, your ongoing legal battles at the moment, how much does that play on your mind at the moment?
I'm letting other people, there's obviously times where I need to sort of dip in and out of that, but I'm letting other people, people that know what they're doing, take care of that a little bit more. And I get plugged in every now and again and have to do a couple of bits and pieces, but for the most part I'm able to just play my golf and concentrate on that.
So it's nothing that's at the back of your mind?
No, it is at the back of my mind, but it's not at the forefront of my mind.
Right.
Justin, thank you.
We spoke to Billy Payne when he was down here. He said he hopes you're thinking about Augusta every day in the lead up to next April. How much are you thinking about it?
Every day.
Every day?
Well, I mean, it's the next, I guess the next big career goal of mine. It would complete the career Grand Slam. It's going to be a great position to be in a few months' time, driving down Magnolia Lane, having a chance to win my third major in a row, the chance to complete the career Grand Slam at 25. So, I'm going to enjoy it. I know there's going to be a lot of, hype, and there's going to be a lot of talk about it, but I think you just have to embrace that, and I'm just going to go and enjoy the week as best I can and make sure that I'm prepared for that week next year.
You're sort of getting into Jack and Tiger territory. Is that something you've thought about, or what do you think about being mentioned?
No, I mean, it's more like I'm just taking it one event at a time and just trying to play the golf that I want to, and I know that if I play the golf that I'm capable of, it means that I've got a chance to do something pretty special in this game. So again, as I said there, it's just about putting the time in to make sure that I don't just stay where I'm at, but I keep trying to get better and better, and because I know that all the guys that I'm competing against are doing the same thing. So it's going to be tough. The Masters is a place where I've had my struggles in the past, and I want to try and put that right next year.
Martin?
Rory, could you talk a little bit about your conditioning program and the weights program and how it relates to your golf, whether you think it's helping, does it make you hit it further? I think we all got a good laugh out of the Justin Rose picture as well.
Yeah, it's something that I got into about 3 years ago. I struggled with a bad back in the 2009-2010 seasons, and I didn't really spend much time in the gym back then, and at that point I needed to. I mean, I've one point in 2010 I was going for MRI scans every 4 weeks just to see if we thought I had a degenerative disc problem in my back, and then it wasn't quite as bad as that, but I had a lot of bone edema around my L4 and L5 facet joints, and the doctor said to me, look, if you don't take care of this, that could turn into a stress fracture and you could be out for a year. And then that's when it really hit me. I was like, right, I need to do something about this. So I've been working out for about 3 years now, and the first 6 months of that was a lot of corrective work and a lot of tedious stuff in the gym that was quite boring, but now I'm in a good place physically. I can move on to lift heavier weights like the ones that you saw last week, and I've started to really enjoy it. It's become a bit of a lifestyle for me. Being healthy and keeping active and staying fit. But it definitely helps my golf. Like if you look at the correlation between when I started doing this and my success on the golf course, you can see that there was definitely results there. I've become a lot stronger in my core, a lot more stable in my lower half, flexibility and mobility, something I've never had to worry about. But obviously I still stay on top of it, and I've got a great guy in Steve McGregor who looks after me with all that that side of it. So it's been a long process, and I'm just thankful, touch wood, that my body's in a in a in a good place now, and hopefully that'll help me in my career, not just in the short term, but obviously going forward, and that can, hopefully, make me play into my 40s and late 40s, and giving me a chance to, prolong my career as much as I can.
Last questions, please. Last questions.
Rory, you probably realised this time last year on the Sunday, I think that about 5% of the Irish population live on the Sydney beaches. You're hoping that you might have some sort of home support again?
Yeah, I mean, it was really surprising to me that there were so many people that were, cheering for me out there last year on the Sunday. Even though there might have been 20 or 30% of the crowd for me, but that was, there's a lot of Irish that live here, and it was great to see them out and supporting, and yeah, I'd love to see them out here again this week. It would be great.
Last one from me, mate. The recognition factor. Greg Norman can walk down the street anywhere in the world and be recognised. Jack Nicklaus the same, I'm sure Tiger the same. What's the recognition factor like with you?
It's getting. I mean, it depends. It depends where I am, I guess.
Well,
yeah,
if you're in Hollywood, obviously.
I mean, yeah, or it's because I've noticed a difference since the summer, since winning the Open, the PGA, and it's become a lot more. But I mean, I'll still be able to walk around Sydney this week, and it'll be okay.
Well, One Direction will probably get more airtime than you.
Certainly will. Yeah.
That was 3 questions. Last one, Nicole.
Rory, when you sat here last year, could you imagine the year that you had?
No. Nope, definitely not.
What were your ambitions for the coming year?
I was just trying to get my golf game back on track, and I felt like it was. And I guess some of my goals for this year was to contend in the majors, do better in those, get myself up the world rankings. Like I didn't think that I'd be able to get back to #1 this year. I remember sitting down with my team and assessing where I was and what I wanted to do, and it was going to take a lot to get me back to world #1, and I didn't think it was quite possible this year, but maybe early 15. But I was able to get back there in the start of August, and it's been a great journey back. Not saying that I was ever gone in any way, but it's just nice to be back to playing golf the way I know that I can.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Rory. Please hold your seats. My colleague and I are leaving first. Thank you.